thing about a woman as well, she got a transplant from a young boy, or young lad who was only 20 or something, but she had a taste for fries and crisps and like that beer as well.
Right. A conservative, middle-aged lady in the United States was the recipient of a liver in an organ transplant. And the operation went all well and good, and afterwards she sat up in bed and demanded a beer. The problem was, she never drank beer before in her life, but the liver had come from a biker dude.
We're the Happy Headers, and today we're going to look at how extraordinary would it be if you actually had the memories and the cravings of somebody who had donated their organs to you, and is that actually a real thing?
Yeah, does organ donation, does the organ itself carry memory? Well, there's lots of anecdotal evidence, including the one I just introduced there, but you have another one.
Oh yeah, well I do remember seeing a film years ago, I think Clint Eastwood was in it, but I also read this as well through the HeartMath Institute, who they do a lot of research around the heart, and this little girl, had gotten a heart transplant from another little girl, and she started after the surgery having all these nightmares about how she was murdered, and she was actually able to give enough evidence to the police at the time to trace back who had murdered her, where and when. She was able to provide
so the donor's
pictures.
Memories were in this little girl.
This little girl, yeah.
Because she had her heart.
Her heart, yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, you couldn't make it up.
Yeah.
And that actually happened. They were able to catch the murderer and everything because of her nightmares and her dreams and her memories.
Wow.
Yeah, her mother brought the girl to a psychiatrist thinking she was going mad having these dreams, she didn't know what was wrong. But the psychiatrist reckoned that they were actual memories from the organ transplant that she'd gotten from the child that died, and encouraged her to follow up with police. And that's what they found. They found that the donor was actually murdered violently, and that her dreams were real.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Well, you see, the body does have what we call cellular memory. The body remembers how it's supposed to be. But is that different from memory of an actual experience? Like when they can get stem cells now and they can grow certain organs. But the stem cell contains the programming, if you like, for that group of cells to turn into a liver or a heart or anything else. Is that memory, or is that just programming?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing. I think we're like dipping into playing God nearly with that a little bit, but I do think it's wonderful, like the research. But if it comes from an actual other person who's already lived a life, though, Paul, do you not think that there might be more memories stored there, or there'd be something in that? It's already lived a life.
I'd like to believe that, Siobhan.
However,
the science does say that memory is just in the brain, in the organ of the brain. There's no empirical evidence to suggest that memory is any place else in the body. We'd like to believe it, but the science says it's only in the brain. Now, science isn't finished yet, and they might conclude in a month's time or a year's time that actually, sorry, we got it wrong, and your little finger retains memory. Because it knows when to go into my nose.
But this is the thing about science. You'll have one side of science that'll say, oh no, that memory only occurs in the brain. And then you'll have another group of scientists that will say the exact opposite, that memory, occurs everywhere in the body. And like, you do hypnosis as well, Paul, so you would know, like, by working with your clients. Certainly, as an EMDR therapist, I would feel, my clients always feel it in the body.
Well, it's funny, ancient Druid traditions or religions or even shamanic things would say that places have memories. You can go to a place and you can pick up the memories of people that were there previously. I've had some experience with that. I went to a place in Germany one time where there was a lot of these big standing stones, or probably stones there since Neolithic times, and they built rope bridges between them so you could walk along, and I felt terrible there. I just got really cold and I lost all my energy, and the people I would say, I just don't feel good.
Oh my God.
But I found out afterwards that it was a popular site for suicides. People would climb these stones and jump off and kill themselves.
Oh, Jesus.
And I remember, like, I was home that evening, and I stayed in the hot bath for ages. I just couldn't. It's like the warmth had gone out of me. I couldn't get warm on the inside.
Oh my God.
So it was a strange thing. So whether that was just a perception, and that, you see, but this is the thing. Like, the mind, subconscious mind in particular, doesn't differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. So if you knew that you got a liver from a biker, you wouldn't assume that this guy was a mass scorer every day and he was sweeping the streets. And
Why not,
you
Paul?
kind of go, no, he was drinking his beer and he was playing cards and he was at rock concerts. So you would imagine that that's how the liver is supposed to behave. You would imbue that organ with qualities and memories that weren't there.
Yeah, but that's like, that woman didn't know though, the one you described. She didn't know where she was getting, like, they don't tell you. There's a privacy policy thing around that, isn't there? That you're not allowed to
I don't know. I don't
you're
know
allowed
much.
to follow up afterwards, but not during the time anyway.
Okay.
I don't think. Like, because it
I'm not
happened
sure.
so quick. Like, he was just after dying and he was on life support in another hospital or whatever, and then they decided, okay, we're going to move this liver now, or we're going to move this heart, because, like, and the patient has to get ready for the transplant straight away. Like, there's very little time in between, so you don't get to know where it's coming from before you're knocked out.
Okay.
It's planted into you medically, like, that's how it happens, isn't it?
It could be, but you can't rule out the possibility that the surgical team were talking during the transplant and they let it out where the liver has come from, because there is evidence that you can hear at a subconscious level while you were unconscious for procedures.
Oh, that creeps me out.
And there's even another there's another video that we will do. Comment and let us know if you'd like to do this, where people have been awake during medical procedures.
Oh no, I don't want to do that, Paul.
And they
I'm not
felt
doing
everything.
it. No!
Um,
I'm out.
right.
He can talk about it. I'm out. Oh my God, no way, it creeps me out. Same as like being buried alive. Can you fucking imagine? Oh my God.
Have you got that fear?
No. Do you ever see the skit of the therapist? The woman comes into him and she's like, I'm afraid of being buried alive in a box. And he was like, well, have you ever been buried alive in a box? No. Then stop it! He says to her. He just gets really aggressive.
Yeah, but you see, it comes from somewhere. Like, your mind fills in the gaps.
Yeah.
Whether you're imagining what it's like to be buried in a box, or imagining where your liver came from, or what it was up to before
Imagine
it got
if
into
you
your
have a
body.
taste for beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some other thing about a woman as well. She got a transplant from a young boy, or young lad who was only 20 or something, but she had a taste for fries and crisps and like that beer as well.
Right.
Isn't that interesting? When she
Or maybe
woke
it's just
up.
an excuse when you have a new liver, you go, I can really go hard in this liver now.
Oh my God. I can't
My
imagine
old
the
one
biker's
packed
liver
in.
would be too good if he was drinking beer all the time.
I don't know.
Like, why would that be a good thing to do?
Let us know. Have you heard any anecdotes, stories of people who've had transplants and have inherited memory associated with the organ they got?
And if you believe me, look up the HeartMath Institute. Let's gather up some evidence there on that.
We are the Happy Headers. Like us, subscribe to us, and we'll talk to you soon.